Yo, what's up? As requested, I'm going to be reviewing what Shannon Michelle feeds her baby, and we're also going to look at her lifestyle in general.
All right, let's talk about babies' first foods. The food industry is undoubtedly poisoning our children. The sacred first foods are in fact egg yolks, organs, meat, and...
Wow! Wow! I'm pleasantly surprised. Of course, that's true. Humans always used to feed their children organs as their first food, especially liver. That's what they still do in a lot of places in Africa, and that's because they understood that it's so essential for their growth. Even though they didn't know anything about vitamin A back then, now we understand that it's the vitamin A, for the most part, of course, all of it matters, that actually makes your child grow properly. That's what largely determines if you will have crooked teeth, for example.
And some fruits. These are some of the nourishing foods that I've been feeding my...
Some fruits, maybe, rarely. Realistically, in nature, seeing as most of the fruits which we eat today don't even exist like that in nature, obviously, but that's alright. If you feed your child eggs and organs, then it's alright to feed the child fruits. Compared to what most people feed their children, it's close to ideal.
My infant for months. Now, my parenting choices frequently cause controversy online, so...
And that's crazy because what you're doing is exactly what humans do in nature. And that's because most people on Earth today are crazy. They actually see natural food as crazy, which only shows how crazy they actually are.
In longer form, dissecting why we choose to feed our son in the way that we do and why he is thriving as a result. It is no surprise that our food systems have in fact been hijacked by mega corporations, from hyper-palatable and cheap processed foods and packaged goods on every street corner, all the way to Bill Gates buying up the US farmland and demonizing CO2 production while simultaneously investing in synthetic meat companies. Now, in the context of the United States,
she knows what's up.
40% of kids entering high school are overweight, 70% of Americans are on some form of medication, and 50% of adults either have diabetes or pre-diabetes, and the list just goes on and on and on. It is evident that something is not right, and nutrition and lifestyle habits are at the absolute core of it. People are waking up and questioning the narrative. Holistic health, homesteading, and the ancestral diet are all trending as people seek an alternative to mainstream.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy when you think about it. The Belgian health minister, I've seen these photos before, and the Los Angeles health minister, come on. It looks like an absolute corpse. Even vegans look healthier than her.
Health advice. But just how early should we begin questioning things? Infant nutrition will always be an incredibly polarizing topic. And I have to believe that the people who watch my content and critique my parenting decisions do have good intentions, and many do have genuine concerns for my child's welfare.
I bet that a lot of the people who criticize you don't even have children themselves.
My son is 7 months old, and I've been documenting my life on social media for the past few years. And more recently, I posted a video of Oasin chowing down on a giant tomahawk steak bone.
This is great, and you can see that he absolutely loves it. People actually get triggered by a baby loving his food. Why do you not get triggered at all of the videos where babies eat vegetables, which they don't even want to eat, where the parents force or trick the kids into eating the toxic vegetables which don't even exist in nature? It's crazy. It literally proves that most people on Earth are insane when they actually get triggered by a baby enjoying his food and not get triggered by babies not enjoying their food. Completely nuts. Actually, I mean it, mentally ill.
The video collectively reached about 20 million views across all of the social media platforms. And what was meant to be a lighthearted video in response to recently changed dietary guidelines on infant nutrition to now include meat as a perfect first food turned into an enormous internet debate with my family at the center of it. So,
what exactly is there to debate about? Of course, children need to eat meat. Since when is this something new?
So while we did receive a lot of support from those who understand anthropologically how our species evolved to eat, those who are well-versed in Western price, and simply in other cultures outside of the West, many felt very strongly that my son was a victim of child abuse, and instead of meat, I should be feeding my infant foods like sweet potatoes, fruit, or good old-fashioned rice.
Oh my God, oh my God, baby rice, oh my God. Oh my God, there's people like that actually out there. Rice has arsenic. It's super toxic to humans in general. It will destroy the baby's gut, and later on the baby will be depressed, have eczema, and so on. All of these problems which come from the gut. It will be the same with vegetables. None of that should be given to a child. Giving that to a child would be child abuse. Giving meat to a child is natural, healthy, it's good.
Cereal. The idea of iron-fortified infant cereals has always felt particularly strange to me.
Iron fortified, the iron is fake. It's actually toxic. It's not real iron.
Beginning with a yolky egg. Now, Oasin was showing signs of readiness to introduce solids at around 4.5 months old. And according to Solid Starts, these signs include sitting. Baby is able to sit with minimal support. Head control. Baby is able to hold their head upright and steady while seated for a duration of a meal. According to them, that's around 15 minutes. Reach and grab. So your baby is able to pick up objects while they're seated and bring them close to their mouth. And interest. So your baby is intently watching as you eat, is mouthing for food or leaning forward for it. So why did we choose an
Yes, all that you need to do is follow your natural intuition and you already know it.
egg yolk? Well, across the world throughout the centuries and almost universally, the first solid food that we have ever introduced to babies were egg yolks. Now, according to the Western Price Foundation, the egg yolk supplies cholesterol needed for mental development as well as important sulfur-containing amino acids. Egg yolks from pasture-fed hens or hens raised on a flax meal, fish meal or insects are also rich in the omega-3 long-chain fatty acids found in mother's milk, but which may be lacking in cow's milk. So these fatty acids are essential for the development of the brain. Now, it is important to leave the egg yolk runny.
Babies actually really love brain, as in they can't get enough of it. And that's of course the best food for the brain by far, because you have an abundance of the omega-3s.
As cooking the egg with the heat alters the nutrients in the eggs and actually destroys some of the enzymes. And when they're raw, they're fully digestible and full of readily available nutrients. Now, I know many of you will say, but what about salmonella? Isn't it a huge risk for your baby? But in fact, the risk of salmonella is actually very low, especially when you're consuming eggs from high quality sources.
Exactly. The eggs that I buy actually say on the package that you can eat them raw, literally. And that's what I feed my baby daughter.
And not only that, but it's typically found on the shell of the egg, as its common contact with the disease is actually externally from like fecal matter. And for those of you who value statistics, according to Dr. McCullough's website, only about 1 in 30,000 eggs even have a salmonella problem. Now, Oasin loves egg yolk. We started with
the whole salmonella and bacteria theory is a deep topic. I have a whole video about this. It's not what you think. It doesn't work like that.
Contrary to popular and very vocal online beliefs, it's actually recommended to give smaller babies larger pieces to chew on rather than small cut-up bits. And that's because it's less of a choking hazard to present food in this way. And this is according to Solid Starts, which is a really, really great resource on baby-led weaning. It has been so interesting watching Oasin chow down meat, because I'll give him like a strawberry and then I'll also present meat to him, and he will every time go for the meat and just gnaw on it. It's really great for their jaws. It's really great for his teeth.
That's very interesting, because the vegan parents never give their children a choice. They force them to eat plants, which they don't even want to eat. And then they oftentimes try to put on a red sauce or anything to imitate meat. The children are supposed to see it as meat, seeing as that's what they naturally want to eat, seeing as red is what makes you crave food. It creates appetite. They trick the children into eating what they actually don't want to eat naturally, which is literally the definition of child abuse. What you're doing is absolutely awesome. I love it.
We also gave out fruits like banana, papaya, and avocado. That's because they are nutrient dense, easily digestible.
Banana, papaya, avocado, nutrient dense in what way? They don't have over 15 micronutrients. If you mean that they have a lot of sugar, as in calories, sort of course, anything with fat has even more calories.
And also abundance in the land in which that we are currently, which is Costa Rica, for those of you who don't know. Oasin is also a fan of butter and yogurt, which is very easily mashed into any concoction of the above foods. My son is very curious, he's very active, he's crawling, climbing and smiling. He's potty trained at 6 months old and already has 8 teeth. Now, I know parents like to use milestones to validate their parenting decisions, but I can't help but wonder how much of his nature is left to chance, genetics, or related to a nutrient-dense pregnancy, postpartum, and infancy periods.
It's for sure the food, 100%.
There are sacred first foods, and I honor these parenting practices cross-culturally, into which I benefit from today. I don't believe that our child's nutrition is particularly controversial, and I've definitely been surprised by the attention and reactions that we've seen online.
I checked out her channel, and she actually used to be vegan many years ago. There's a cooking video which she still has up on the channel.
I'm gonna add my organic cocoa quench.
Oh, I fucking love cocoa quench.
Into the mixture, just as much as you want.
As you can see, she was young. Most people are pretty naive and easily brainwashed when they are young. That's just how it is.
Please use any type of plant-based milk, whether it's soy milk, cashew milk, almond milk, coconut milk, macadamia
It's really funny to hear this when you look at how she is now.
nut milk. There are so many milk alternatives, and you definitely don't need cow's milk to make delicious pancakes. So please do that. Thank you.
Be ethical.
It's funny how a lot of these vegans will say that they will be vegan for life and they will never drink milk again, all of that. And then you go from that to feeding your child organs, eggs, meat. She probably would have never thought that it would be like that years later.
Nuttalex.
That is so bad.
Yeah, but
Oh wow, that's super toxic.
you only use a little bit. Like, I go through this in like maybe 6 months, a year, not even that.
This is what she's up to today.
What a week looks like living off Bitcoin in El Salvador. We were invited last minute
She's into Bitcoin, crypto, alternative payments. Yeah, why not?
to stay at the Swan House for the Adopting Bitcoin conference in El Salvador. We've been wanting to visit the Freedom Country for a while to see the reality of things, how widespread Bitcoin adoption was, and how safe we felt there being a young family. We ran into Francis from Bull Bitcoin at the airport, who's been working hard on Bitcoin adoption in our home base, Costa Rica. We used Bitcoin to pay our entry fees into the country. A good start.
That's cool.
The conference was held in San Salvador, and there were many great speakers, all united by a common thread, freedom and Bitcoin. We stayed at the Swan House in El Zonte, also known as Bitcoin Beach, and one of the first areas in the country to really start building a community around the currency. This meant that we were close to some epic after parties like this one, Swan hosted, and we got to spend our mornings biohacking by the sea.
I've noticed that she shows her body off a lot and wears very little clothes in a lot of videos. Do your thing, whatever. I just wonder what her husband or boyfriend, the father of the baby, thinks about it.
With some sunrise yoga and ice bath session.
Ice baths also. Of course, nobody is perfect. She used to be vegan, obviously it was easy to influence her to do that, and now, even though she understands a lot about food, which is super great, she can still of course get pulled into other traps and trends, which will later disappear, but right now ice baths are popular, which is why she does it. Of course, she doesn't do it because she wants to do it, seeing as your intuition tells you not to do it, seeing as it feels so horrible, but because it's trendy, it's on social media, it seems like you're going against the system, it's this alternative way of living, which it isn't, it's super mainstream, millions of people do it. You can easily get pulled into it. It's okay, shit happens.
El Zonte, also known for its world-famous surf, which the boys took full advantage of. We went to the Bitcoin farmers markets, and it's true, El Salvador has the best coffee I've ever tasted. We stocked up on Doritos by
She also drinks coffee. Yeah, a lot to work on.
Dynamic Coffee, Satoshi Blend, as well as some tallow soap from Born to Be Free, and of course some grass-fed beef from fellow Australian Beef Back Better. We spent an afternoon filming a podcast with Michael.
Cool, grass-fed beef, you buy it with Bitcoin. Sounds cool there.
At the Bitcoin Beach studio, and some evenings dining at the beachside pupuserias.
Overall, she's living a great life. Sure, she's brainwashed in some ways, but who isn't nowadays? At least her son is getting the food that he requires, which is the most important part, seeing as it's their child, and you should do everything for your children, and giving your child the best food possible is the most important part, seeing as that's what's gonna make the child develop, and the child is going to be eternally thankful later on when he realizes that his parents fed him all of this food. Hopefully they give the child a lot of love also. I'm sure that they do. They seem like it. It's a video where I can't really exactly say anything against their lifestyle except for the ice baths. Showing off your body too much, but whatever. It's not as if that's not how it would be in nature, it's just that you're surrounded by strangers nowadays. When you live in the system, it's a whole different story. Naturally, when you live with your family, in a tribe, totally, no, of course, take off all of the clothes as far as I'm concerned. That's how it would be naturally. It's just something that I see as a red flag when I see a woman like that. And she does that a lot in her videos, especially when she does the yoga stretching or whatever she does. Why do you film those kind of videos for the internet? Yeah, that's something that they should talk about. Whatever, most importantly, as I said, the health, and the child is getting everything that he needs health-wise. I really love seeing that. I love seeing healthy humans in general, but especially healthy children, because it's the new generation. And of course, most people don't feed their children that kind of healthy food, which is why a lot of people criticize her for eating what humans eat in nature. And they said that the son should be eating man-made vegetables which don't exist in nature and rice cereal with added toxic iron. Come on, how delusional can you be? Thanks for watching.